On trade, he got played.
The dumbest trade war in history.
On immigration, it's hateration.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, Donald Trump has us go.
And with Musk, he's getting fucked.
Coming in hot.
Can he redeem himself with the Gaza gambit?
The Riviera of the Middle East, this could be something that could be so bad. This could be so magnificent.
All this, plus new spring fashions that really let in the breeze. Welcome to the Fenix News Report. Trump is making great headway on running the country like one of his businesses, which is to say poorly and into the ground. Just like a CEO that's looking for a quick way to bump up their stock price, step one is to fire all your employees.
Phase 2?
And step 3 is to sell whatever's left for scrap. Can't wait for step 2.
At least the biggest waste of time in the form of a trade war is over. I mean, at least in North America. As Mexico and Canada announced in response to Trump's tariff threats that they will continue to do what they've been doing at the border. Except for Mexico, who somehow walked away with promising less than what they've been doing. Just do not tell Trump. Limes are like 90% of my diet.
Up in the Great White North, Ontario's premier said that Canada will rip up the Starlink contract for Toronto and charge a 100% tariff on Teslas. You know, it's satisfying to watch Trump get played, but watching Elon Musk get screwed, that is my soul being healed by Canadian witch magic.
But not everyone agrees that Trump got hosed on these tariff negotiations. So it's time for another installment of our segment, Point Counterpointless. Well, Big Daddy Trump has delivered for America once again. Our deal artist in chief grabbed our enemies by the pussy and got them to pay up or else.
No, he didn't.
Nah, he did. Don was all like, I tariff you. And then Canada and Mexico cowered in French and Spanish, respectively, and then begged our president to do a deal with him.
Nope. He got nothing but laughed at. What did Canada promise?
Okay, Canada bent the knee. They promised to spend $900 million on border security and crack down on fentanyl trafficking because he was gonna do a tariff at them.
Then why did they first announce that spending package last December, before all this happened? And also, did you know that there was only about 47 pounds of fentanyl that crossed the northern border last year? You knew that, right?
But okay, Mexico though. We won at Mexico. Now they have to put 10,000 troops on the border to fight illegal crossing and drugs and stuff, or else tariffs.
Past presidents got Mexico to send troops to the border by just asking. And they got those troops without blowing up trade relations with one of our biggest economic partners.
Friggin' communist.
This has been Point Counterpointless.
On 60 Minutes, ancient senator and obscenely wealthy person Mitch McConnell slammed Trump's tariff plan as idiotic and disastrous for the economy. Then, in a bold act of defiance, he immediately went right back to voting for every part of Trump's agenda.
The EU is next up for trade war shenanigans, but now they can play Tariff Uno. The deck only has one card, reverse and win. So when Trump calls tariffs, all you have to do is play the reverse card to declare your own tariffs right back at him. He will back down immediately, and you get to win. There's only one card to play, and it works every time.
Having learned nothing, Trump has announced his latest round of tariffs. These will be 30 to 50% tariffs on Blue Sky, MySpace, California, that grocery store that's most convenient for Fawny Willis, and the Chuck E. Cheese that refused to let Eric have his 41st birthday party there.
But hey, not all markets are suffering. Some are about to boom. Colombia's president has suggested that cocaine be legalized worldwide. Don Jr. has already made a sizable donation to his re-election campaign. This week, Donald Trump proposed that the U.S. take over Gaza and turn it into, quote, the Riviera of the Middle East. And actually, one of our fans, Glenn, made a special request for when we show Trump talking. So Glenn, Here you go.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it too. The Riviera of the Middle East, this could be something that could be so bad. This could be so magnificent.
Okay, and here's what's great about that idea. You know how on all those renovation shows, they spend like the first half of the show whacking a sledgehammer through a wall? Yeah, well, that's already done. So we can skip that part and go straight to picking out subway tile.
But is it possible that invading a foreign territory and trying to tell them what to do might, I don't know, somehow backfire? We talked about this on our podcast, Washington to Westminster, this week.
The good thing about Gaza as well is America could definitely take it, and all the other countries in the Middle East would be totally okay with it.
Yes, exactly. That's usually how things work out for us in the Middle East.
They're so relaxed, aren't they, about that sort of thing?
They are chill motherfuckers about exactly this sort of thing. So, yeah.
Here to comment is our chief past correspondent, Jen Haston. Jen, where exactly in the past were you right now?
Oh, I'm watching Napoleon and Russia go at it. I needed a break. Also, it's kind of hard to hear you over the screams of the villagers.
A break from what exactly?
Well, I've been traveling back through various points in time, doing a sort of greatest hits of U.S. imperialism tour.
Oh, well, hey, let me hit you with this. All right, Trump is proposing that we take over Gaza and turn it into some kind of a resort. But what do you think about that?
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, let's have the U.S. fix a foreign country and try to control what happens there afterwards. Yeah, just like we did with Vietnam, Iran, Chile, Syria.
Okay, Jen, I think we see your point.
Iraq, Afghanistan. That one turned out real well, didn't it? Libya, Bay of Pigs. Did I leave anything out?
I mean, just the Philippines, but otherwise, yeah, that was pretty comprehensive. Thanks, Jen. I hope you get some rest.
Speaking of idiots taking over, Elon and his band of merry interns have managed to gain access to sensitive data from the Treasury Department, Medicare and Medicaid, and probably your social security number, which I'm guessing you didn't want in the hands of an extremely thin-skinned billionaire.
Elon decided to channel his inner Hillary Clinton and switch to an unsecured private email server, which resulted in a flood of inappropriate emails being sent to all corners of the government. Here's a quick sample. Let's see, there's Trump tried to suck my redacted, so much teeth, that one's classy. Welcome to Scientology today, nice. Important weather alert, the next 4 years has a 99% chance of blank showers, and one that simply says, yo. Hey, great job, Elon.
All right, so I have a theory about this guy that I'm going to share in our new segment, Conspiracy Theories, but they're actually true. Now, my sources on the far web, and you wouldn't know about it unless you're deep into the super data stream, have uncovered the truth. Elon Musk has been pretending to be a genius billionaire. And I shouldn't be telling you any of this, but he didn't even found Tesla or Twitter. He stole them from the real creators and erased their names. Do your own research. His so-called billions, those are called unrealized gains. That's fake money, okay? Stay tuned for our next installment where we explore whether the deep state is just rebranded McCarthyism.
And speaking of getting railed, you've probably heard the news faces freaking out about Trump and Musk tearing apart the United States Agency for International Development, aka USAID. Is this even legal? Hey, let me break it down for you. USAID is a government agency that basically helps poor countries, which in turn benefits the US. It's been established and run by two different branches of government, and it's been around since the 60s. But Trump said, nah, stop all that, then handed it over to Elon to treat like his personal rage room, which he happily did. Let me put it like this. Imagine USAID is a giant dildo you and your partner Marcus bought for your OnlyFans page. You planned it out, your viewers love it, and you and Marcus are happy. So you promise to your subscribers the giant dildo will always be there, way up someone's beehole. But then Marcus gets deep into crack and bath salts and starts inviting his dealer Space Boy to join you for three-ways. And suddenly they're selling your prized dildo to rich Saudi perverts for more bath salts and ketamine. So here we are. Can Marcus and Spaceboy sell the lubed up Kong-size ass blaster you two bought together without your okay, or does it technically still belong to you despite being so deep up their butts? I hope this clears up the USAID mess that Musk made and explain why it's a pain in our asses.
And speaking of Elon's worst enemies, let's talk about OpenAI. There are so many amazing things that you can do with OpenAI. You can mimic popular voices. You can make pictures with a few types on a keyboard that have so many fingers. Now, according to Sam Altman, you can also strike a deal with the US government to let OpenAI control a nuclear weapon facility. This is incredible. Voices, fingers, and the love child of war games and the Terminator. I can't wait.
Trump is following through on his plans to repeal and replace DEI with its superior cousin, nepotism. First comes a long list of words the government isn't allowed to say anymore, like female and transgender and diversity. Word on the street is if you say them in front of a mirror 3 times, RuPaul will appear and roast your outfit.
The pettiness increased as the NSA covered up plaques that celebrate past employees who are women and people of color. What a relief it must be as a white man to not have those plaques just jumping out at you every morning and reminding you that not everyone looks exactly like you. I mean, I can't imagine a worse hell on earth than that.
Trump put the cherry on top of this white male insecurity sundae by signing an executive order banning transgender athletes from women's sports. And that means it's time to play Trumper or Trans. Here's how it works. I'm going to give you a situation, and you tell me if you'd rather have somebody from the Trump administration or a transgender athlete. Andrea, Mike, are you ready to play?
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay. First up, Andrea. You are a nubile young babysitter. Would you rather be employed by RFK Jr. or a transgender athlete?
Oh gosh, that is a hard question. Okay, so I know RFK Jr. was accused of rape by his former babysitter, and he wrote in his journals about how he can't control himself sexually. But the athlete is transgender. Oh my God, this is so hard. I don't know. I guess I'm gonna go with the transgender athlete.
That's correct. Great job. Wonderful. Mike, over to you. Let's say you had a daughter and she was getting married. Would you rather she got married to Pete Hegseth or a transgender athlete?
Oh my God, this is so hard. So Pete Hegseth has like cheated on his wives and like made one fear for her safety, but the other person likes playing soccer. Fuck. Can I phone a friend?
That's a different show, but I can give you a hint.
Come on.
Pete Hegseth has also been accused of rape.
Damn. Okay. I don't know. I guess I'm gonna throw a Hail Mary here and I'm gonna say the transgender athlete.
That's correct!
Yeah.
Great job, Mike! That sound means we're gonna go to the lightning round. Whoever answers this next question correctly wins the game. Okay, the situation is, you are a woman, alone in a locked room with one other person, and no one can hear you scream. Would you rather that person be Donald Trump or a transgender athlete?
Oh my God, how are we supposed to answer this
I don't
question?
know. I've
This
never
is so
been a
hard.
woman before.
Oh my God.
Oh,
What
God.
do we do?
Here's a clue.
Screen.
Trump has been found liable for sexually abusing E. Jean Carroll in a court of law.
I mean, what are we supposed to do?
I don't
with
know.
that
Who is that woman? I don't know
information?
anything about
69 different women have accused Trump of sexual misconduct.
I mean, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
He used to hang out in the changing room at Miss America pageants.
Well, I mean, who wouldn't do that?
I mean,
I wouldn't do
Grab him by the
we-
pussy.
it's just
Okay,
so
okay.
hard.
All right,
so
I think.
hard.
Okay.
Okay.
Transgender athlete.
That's correct. Oh, wonderful. You both win. Thank you for playing Trumper or Trans. And hey, if you ladies out there happen to be working in the White House, maybe start carrying some pepper spray. Back to you in the studio, us. Woo!
Huzzah!
Shazam.
And speaking of myopically focusing on the wrong things, you know how a bunch of people have been getting rounded up and shipped off to other countries, including a bunch of people who have never committed a crime? Well, it might not be as many people as you think, because it looks like ICE is taking press releases from as far back as 2008, changing the date on them to now, and then re-releasing them to try and fool the search results on Google to make it look like they're doing way more raids than they actually are.
That is great news. Yes, way to go, ICE. I love that you're trying to make the algorithm happy instead of doing your job. Hey, while you're at it, can you please help me figure out why no one can see my Facebook posts?
Oh, that is because you got banned for selling feed pics. We have talked about this.
I mean, okay. I mean, personally, I thought it was because Mark Zuckerberg is a giant turd who is letting Trump, like, teabag him into submission.
Two things can be true at the same time. But hey, at least some government agencies are focusing on the real threats. In Scotland, they nearly decided to ban cats.
This decision came after a study that showed them cats murder at least 700 wee animals per year in UK.
The Scottish Animal Welfare Commission suggested measures could include restrictions on introducing cats to households in vulnerable areas, effectively banning the wee beasties. This was met with wide disapproval from the Scottish people, with one feline lover telling the commission, "You just have a go at that jobby with me muggy and I'll beat you to death with your own shoe."
That was terrible.
From cat bans to cat scans, we take the international kitty party over to Italy, where a radiologist is in trouble for giving his cat a scan in the hospital's CAT scan machine. Well, at least he didn't put his boner in the bone densitometer like last time.
Let's head over to the world of entertainment, where our own Mike Dynamo has a review of Nickel Boys.
Hey, Austin.
Mike, are you okay?
Oh man, yeah, I just got back from seeing Nickel Boys. It was like this story about like these two like black kids. You know, I thought it'd be like fun, maybe like Friday or something. I went in completely cold, and that was a mistake. Because you know, I go into this movie and I'm watching these things happen, and it's all like first person, and you're watching this kid like grow up and with his grandma and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, hey, this movie could be pretty good, but it's not. Because like he gets into this like academy and he's walking down the road and some guy wants to give him a ride because you know he hitchhiked like, you know, in the 60s, and then he gets in the guy's car, but that guy apparently stole that car, and you knew that, but you know, because he had like really nice shoes and some like really cool wristband or something. It was so ridiculous. So obviously, because Jim Crow, that kid ends up going, you know, he doesn't get to go to the academy because he was smart. He goes to jail, man. He goes to like juvenile hall for like, you know, teens, and it was oh, man. And then, like, you know, he makes, like, one friend while he's there because that's the only, like, cool guy. Everyone else fucking sucks. And it made me, like, sad in black. Like, it took my soul out of my body. And my heart broke for everybody happening in the movie. And then they're showing the future and they're showing the past. And then when you get to the future part, and somebody got to tell his grandma what happened. Oh, God, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Black people should see it. White people just stay away. No, white people should see it. Black people stay away. Good God, what am I saying?
And speaking of new frontiers in artistry, Kendrick Lamar returned from the Grammys with a 5-award sweep for his diss track, Not Like Us. Meanwhile, Drake won awards equal to the amount of good songs that he's ever made.
Soon-to-be cult leader Kanye West, or Ye as he likes to be called, took his wife Bianca out to the Grammys in a nude dress, leaving imagination to be somebody else's friggin' problem. These two came out to the event, they had their picture taken on the red carpet, and then left of their own volition. Word is they had to leave early to pick up robes for the rest of Kanye's new cult. That they were allegedly like 25% off if you got there before 7. We've started to notice something among our friends and fans, which is that people keep asking us what to do about all of this. So I'm going to give you some hope in a segment we call Some Goddamn Hope Already.
So remember when Trump tried to end birthright citizenship by signing one of his dumbass little Nazi books? Well, a second judge has now blocked that shit like a goalie. Unconstitutional, baby!
And then another judge blocked Trump's executive order on transgender prisoners. And there are more legal challenges to his trans policies on the way.
And guess what? About 60% of our federal judges were appointed by Democratic presidents. And so far, they look real ready to push back on huge chunks of his agenda.
But it's not just judges. Public outcry is making Trump walk back all kinds of decisions, from the federal funding freeze to his dumb little trade war.
The uproar over NSA plaques being covered up led them to being restored back to normal because people raised hell about it.
Elon's got access to all kinds of stuff. And this week, mass protests against Trump and Musk erupted across the country, with over 50,000 people turning out. Now the Trump administration has agreed to limit Musk's access to Treasury payments.
Now, I called John Cornyn's office last week about the federal funding freeze, and within 24 hours, it was gone. I tried to call again this week, and I couldn't even get through. Their offices are slammed with calls because of people like you. Keep calling. Let leaving pissed off messages to your congresspeople be your new therapy.
Also, Democrats seem to have woken up and decided to be mad again. So it's good to know they'll be trying to do stuff. Plus, listening to them insult Elon is just good, clean family fun.
We will see you in the courts, in Congress, in the streets. Elon Musk is a Nazi Nepo baby. A godless, lawless billionaire who no one elected. Elon, this is the American people. This is not your trashy Cybertruck that you can just dismantle, pick apart, and sell the pieces of.
Now, a couple of Democratic lawmakers actually barged into House Speaker Mike Johnson's office demanding answers about Elon Musk getting access to Treasury data. Yes! More barging into offices, please.
Elon's approval rating is tanking, and he's getting way too big for his britches. Tim Walz even called him a terrible president. And between his giant ego and Trump's, combined with Trump's penchant for firing people, his catchphrase is literally "you're fired," we got a decent shot of Elon getting bounced out of there pretty soon.
And if he happens to stick around, this is the man who is basically incapable of delivering on his promises. We were supposed to have Tesla robo-taxis back in 2020, and they still don't exist. This man is great at starting things, but terrible at finishing, unless it's inside one of his employees.
Finally, let me give you a fun one. So once upon a time, the Proud Boys attacked a black church, so the church sued them and won. But since the Proud Boys couldn't pony up the cash, a judge has stripped the Proud Boys of their trademark and given it to the church. So if the Proud Boys want to sell any merchandise with their branding on it, they have to ask this church for permission. The church can also get money from any merchandise sales and membership dues. Now savor that one for a minute because it is delicious.
Is stuff bad right now? Sure. Is all hope lost? I truly do not believe that it is. Chin up, and we'll be here if you need us. Join the Fenix News crew if you need us to talk you off the ledge. That wraps up this week's episode. Keep flying, y'all.
Love you. Bye.
I am so stressed out by now. Like, what are we even supposed to do?
This is very stressful.
This is
Literally
so
one of the
difficult.
sexual predators.
They
God.
don't tell you how difficult
This
it
should
is.
not be a hard
I
decision.
mean, what you got, like, it's like Trump or transgender.
phone in.
It's like,
One of them just prefers their gender to be what their gender is. That's it. That's
wow.
the only thing about them. That's who they are.
I can kind of see how weird that is.
Yeah, I mean-
Ugh,
Other
God.
one's pretty rapey.
they want to play sports, but then they want to
Like one might harm somebody.
Sports are so
Again,
ridiculous. I don't
I mean,
understand.
the other one
I've never done it before.
I'm
exists.
struggling with
The
that.
other one just
too.
exists.
God.
One
It's
harmful
just-
to
this
exist.
is
The other one. That's it all.
I'm so stressed
God.
out. Does anyone have a Xanax? Do you have a Xanax?
I'm
that I
taking
can
so
burn?
many
Such a headache.
Xanax right
Do you want a
now.
Xanax?
Yeah.
He said
I want a
he has
Xanax. What's the-
Can we have
I know.
some
I think
Xanax,
we need to
please?
call the
Xanax.
police
Is there a
and HR.
producer
This has
that
gone
has some
downhill.
Xanax?
No,
Does
It's two
everybody
choices.
have drugs?
Does
I'll
anyone
take
have a
ketamine
coin
if
to
you
flip?
Don't have Xanax.
Is there anyone like between maybe?
Yeah.
No,
Do
no,
we-
the question was
We'd like to
really
be in a
straightforward.
What if Trump was transgender, right? What
Oh,
about that?
wow.
Maybe, I know.
That's some new
Yeah,
territory.
what about that?
Still definitely a sexual predator.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, okay,
We do not
okay,
know that he's an
okay,
athlete.
okay,
He
okay.
believes there is a limited amount of energy you have in your life.
Not an
a
athlete.
battery.
Not an athlete. That's what I got out of that.
Neither is he a
Trump is not
athlete.
an
He's not an athlete.
No,
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 never
that's
was.
what. Yeah,
I know that. That's the
Listen
only
to
thing I
bone
know about
spurs.
him.
Listen to
Yeah.
bone spurs.
That's why,
Hands?
I kept come out of Vietnam?
Yes.
Can't go to Vietnam.
Can't go to Vietnam.
How do you become an athlete?
Now he's going to be a transgender. Wait, I'm confused.
So yeah, which one are we doing?
But which one would you
Is
rather,
he-
I don't know, daughter, literally anyone you care about? If
Yeah.
you care about somebody, would you put them in a room with Donald Trump,
Who do
I
care about?
mean-
who's objectively terrible? Get
so
off my podium!
What?
Get off!
I just needed
No.
to rest for a second. It was
Yeah.
so stressful. Do you
Answer the goddamn
You know what?
question.
You know what? I quit.
You know what? I also quit. This is hard.
I also quit. Back to you in the studio. Caw-caw!